Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
When I was young, I lost my parents tragically. They designated my Aunt Eleanor and Uncle Arthur as my guardians, entrusting them with a substantial inheritance and specific instructions for my university education. For years, I lived with them and their daughter, my cousin Seraphina. Seraphina, always the golden child, received everything she desired: designer clothes, exotic trips, and a constant stream of lavish gifts. Meanwhile, I was told to be grateful for their charity, gaslighted into believing my parents hadn't left much, and that any ambition I had for a top-tier education was unrealistic. They claimed I needed to learn the value of hard work, despite my consistent academic achievements. My dream of attending a specific, prestigious university faded year by year as they insisted it was too expensive, and not for someone like me. Instead, they funded Seraphina's numerous, short-lived boutique businesses and enrolled her in a local unaccredited college, citing her artistic spirit. The final straw came when a kind family lawyer, settling an unrelated estate matter for our extended family, noticed some alarming discrepancies in my parents' trust fund. He discreetly reached out to me, and together we uncovered the devastating truth. Eleanor and Arthur had systematically siphoned off my inheritance, diverting funds meant for my education directly into Seraphina's various ventures and their own extravagant lifestyle. My future had been stolen, piece by piece, by the very people sworn to protect it. The rage was a cold, hard knot in my stomach. I confided in my partner, Liam, a man who possessed a fierce loyalty and an even fiercer tactical mind. He saw the fire in my eyes, the years of quiet resentment finally erupting, and he didn't flinch. "We don't just get it back, Clara," he said, his voice low. "We make them pay for every single penny and every tear." Seraphina, ever the oblivious narcissist, was planning a lavish, grand opening gala for her latest venture. Seraphina's Sanctuary for Serenity, a rebranded wellness and spiritual guidance center that sounded as vague as it was expensive. Eleanor and Arthur were bankrolling it, no doubt with what little scraps remained of my parents' legacy. Liam saw an opportunity. Our plan was meticulous, built on their insatiable desire for public approval and Seraphina's need to always be the center of attention. I would announce my own new venture, a charity gala dedicated to funding educational scholarships for orphaned children. It was a cause genuinely close to my heart, a poignant echo of my own stolen future. Liam, playing the concerned partner, approached Eleanor and Arthur. He painted me as emotionally fragile and desperate for their approval after years of struggling with my identity. He convinced them that if they generously sponsored my charity gala, they could take full public credit, rehabilitating their image within the community and subtly ensuring my continued obedience through a sense of obligation. He emphasized that this event, with their public backing, would utterly overshadow Seraphina's small-time opening, appealing to their competitive nature. Crucially, Liam insisted that I was too flighty and emotional for contracts, so all agreements had to be verbal to avoid upsetting me. They swallowed it whole, hook, line, and sinker. For months, Liam worked his magic. He'd meet with Eleanor and Arthur, subtly suggesting upgrades for my charity gala. "Clara has such simple tastes, but for your family's reputation, surely we need the renowned Azure Ballroom and Chef Dupre's catering, no? Imagine the impression you would make." Eleanor and Arthur, believing they were securing their public image and my eternal gratitude, spared no expense. They booked the most prestigious downtown venue, secured a local celebrity host, and insisted on a top-tier event planner. The irony was exquisite. They were spending a fortune, likely with my own remaining funds, to create a platform for their downfall. Seraphina, meanwhile, prattled on social media about her exclusive, intimate grand opening, completely unaware of the juggernaut we were preparing. Our charity gala was scheduled for the exact same night. Invitations were sent to every influential community member, every extended family member, subtly mentioning Eleanor and Arthur's generous sponsorship. The night of the gala arrived. The Azure Ballroom was resplendent, gleaming with the expensive decor Eleanor and Arthur had chosen. As guests mingled, Liam and our trusted ally, Marcus, discreetly positioned security, actually loyal friends at the entrance. They had strict instructions. Allow no one disruptive in, especially Seraphina. She hadn't been invited, and we knew she'd try to crash the party to upstage me. Eleanor and Arthur arrived, beaming, ready to bask in the admiration. They greeted guests, preening as people commented on the magnificent event they had made possible. Seraphina's phone was buzzing with reports of her own grand opening, a sparse handful of attendees and a palpable air of confusion. Then it was time. I took the stage, the spotlight warm on my face. I began with a heartfelt speech about the charity's mission, honoring the memory of my parents and their belief in the power of education. I thanked my wonderful guardians, Eleanor and Arthur, for raising me after my own parents' untimely passing. The crowd murmured approvingly. Then I pivoted. My voice, clear and steady, continued. This charity, dedicated to ensuring every child has the opportunity for a full education, is deeply personal to me. It reminds us all of the importance of trust, transparency, and fiduciary duty, especially when managing funds for vulnerable children. As I spoke, a pre-prepared video began to play on the large screens flanking the stage. It wasn't accusatory by name, but it was damning. It displayed scanned copies of my parents' original will and trust fund documents, clearly outlining the designated inheritance for my education. Then, a timeline of bank statements and financial transfers appeared, tracing funds from my trust into Seraphina's college tuition and her various business accounts. It showed how my designated university funds had disappeared, replaced by paltry sums for a community college, while Seraphina's expenses ballooned. My kind family lawyer, Mr. Davies, then stepped forward, giving a brief, professional address on the severe legal and ethical implications of financial mismanagement for a minor's trust. The gasps from the audience were audible. Eleanor and Arthur's faces, just moments ago flushed with pride, drained of color. Seraphina, who had somehow managed to sneak into the back just as the video started playing, shrieked, instantly confirming her involvement to anyone still wondering. My security gently but firmly escorted her out. The fallout was immediate and devastating. The room, filled with extended family and community pillars, buzzed with outrage and disgust. Eleanor and Arthur were confronted by everyone, their generosity exposed as a grotesque charade. Their attempts to deny, to deflect, to throw Liam under the bus, claiming he had orchestrated it, fell flat. There was no paper trail for their verbal agreements, only the irrefutable visual evidence of my stolen inheritance. Who would believe them over the cold, hard facts on the screen? Seraphina's sanctuary for serenity was dead on arrival, tainted by the scandal. Her meager grand opening dissolved into a pathetic cryfest. Eleanor and Arthur found themselves ostracized, their reputations in tatters, their generosity now seen as manipulative theft. The financial strain of funding my extravagant gala, coupled with the collapse of Seraphina's business and potentially legal repercussions from the charity's public exposé, ensured their complete ruin. I watched it all unfold from the stage, a profound sense of vindication washing over me. For years, I had been silenced, belittled, and robbed. Now, the truth was laid bare for all to see. The charity gala, funded by their own ill-gotten gains, had become the instrument of their justice. It was more than revenge. It was an act of reclamation. They tried to steal my future, but instead, they funded a new one for me, and for countless children who will now get the education I almost lost.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.